Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
And today we are jumping into Skyrim, the adventure game. Yes,
Bethesda Studios.
we have Modiphius.
And Modiphius, yes.
Yeah, we officially failed at Tainted Grail, so we've decided to jump into something that's seems it's going to be a little bit easier. So right now that'll be more fun as well.
Yeah. So if you watched our last handful of videos, you know we've been trying Tainted Grail. We made 3 attempts at it.
Goodness.
So our Thursday streams moving forward is going to be campaign, at least 1, maybe 2, because that's the base set. We'll see how long it takes, off of Skyrim here. So we'll show you that map. And then on our Saturday streams or weekend streams, we might shift some days around, is going to be 7 Citadel, which an expansion just came out. So we'll be getting that, but we're going to start from the beginning.
Yeah, the second season, we have that backed. So that'll probably be next year at some point. We'll get that. But it's going to be a lot of fun to dive into the base version of it. 7 Citadel, follow up to 7th Continent. 7th Continent was a lot of fun. I think it really made the card laying map system really kind of made that popular. But like the exploration part of it is really cool. So very different than anything else that we've done. Very excited to dive into that. But very excited to dive into this as well. So we are jumping into the tutorial. So of course, the first image you saw at the beginning of this was the rulebook rundown, which is what we call the start of any kind of game that we're introducing. Usually we'll do an actual rundown of the rulebook where we literally will take turns just reading through and learning how to play the game live with you all. But much like RuneScape Kingdoms, Skyrim has a tutorial. So we're just going to do that.
So this should take about 20 to 30 minutes. We'll walk through the tutorial. It takes 4 game turns just with 1 character to understand movement and everything else. Then we'll take a quick break as Nick and I set up our characters that we're actually going to be playing with. And then we're going to launch right into Chapter 1 of Campaign 1.
Yeah, and if you see me occasionally dab my face because the AC is busted and it is hot here in LA, and we are under lights, so I am sweating. So I apologize.
So the first thing for a campaign is you're going to have your board set up. So each player will get this fancy little board here. We'll make that actually be in picture.
Get your character in there.
Yes, with a character. So you get a little character miniature. We have the extended miniatures pack, so you'll see all types of characters. So you'll have your character card, you'll have your character mini, you'll have 3 little tokens that represent your quest tokens, and then you're going to have a variety of things. So you'll have helmet, you'll have your body armor, you'll have whatever's in your hand, like your weapons, you'll have your feet, any type of leg guards, etc., any potions or inventory to carry. On the bottom, you're going to have some backpack spaces and some status cards. And then your personal quests will go off to the right. For the tutorial, we specifically are using Khajiit. And all of these have little benefits. So for Khajiit, once per game turn, I can use night vision. In combat, you lose 1 health, which is your health track, the red. And then I can sneak 1. And sneaking is used as a way similar to if you watched our D6 campaign. It's a way to get away from enemies. After learning sneak, you get sneak 1. So anything on your card here that is in green or purple or blue, green, purple, or red, will be different skills you can learn. And then you'll gain little skill cards that'll get added into these 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spots. And then after learning pickpocketing, there's some other benefits. And then if I do the rest action, I regain 2 stamina and 2 magicka.
You have to excuse Steve, he's colorblind. That is blue. It is red, green, and blue. They're the primary colors.
It looks like purple on that card.
It's blue.
But okay.
But yeah, it's halfway there. It's like a navy blue. It's light purplish here.
So let's kick this off, and we're going to read through the tutorial. We're going to talk about what it tells us to do. And we're just going to literally read it through. Yep. We're going to follow it exactly as it tells us to on the board. And hopefully this will give you enough context to understand movement, battling, and everything along with the game.
Yeah, overall it doesn't seem overly complicated, especially if you've played RuneScape Kingdoms. It's kind of a heavier version, it seems like, of RuneScape Kingdoms, which is kind of nice. So
here we go. Tutorial mission. Moiva Carney, a servant of 2 masters. She obeys the commands of the Thalmor, the armed forces of Aldmeri Dominion, and acts as the hands in Skyrim.
Aldmeri Dominion.
But she also obeys me. For now, our goals are aligned, but how long will they last? Welcome to the tutorial of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim the Adventure Game. Here you will learn... That's not even dragon-sounding things.
I was cheering. I wasn't trying to make.
I don't know.
I wasn't trying to make my dragon call.
Here you'll learn the basic mechanics of the game and discover a little bit about the world of Skyrim. When playing, you'll draw random cards and roll dice. For the purposes of this tutorial, we often ask you find certain cards and set the dice to specific results so it's easier to understand. It should take 20 to 30 minutes and make the gaming experience more rewarding.
Challenge accepted.
So our components and setup we've already done. That was why I just explained with our character. So once you've got the game board and the game board and the character board
and
set
the
up.
cardboard.
Take Khajiit from the character deck. Take the hide armor and iron dagger, which we've already set up. Take all the tutorial cards we've already prepped. Draw card T5. This is the main quest. Quest can be tracked and can be completed during the chapter. And I'll give you more details in the rule book if you need it. On the front of the card, you'll find a line. Read until you reach the line for information. So this is the world. Wow, I'm just going to restart like speaking English today. The words of Daedra. My little pawn, you are living a busy life. Agent for the Thalmor, and more importantly for me. Now, do my bidding. I want that place empty. The reason, you need no reason. Put a quest token in Whiterun. So it says the line will indicate a specific location on the game board. When you arrive at the location, the text below the line will give you further instruction. Part of the text of the main quest is written in red. This is flavor text and adds to the story.
And it's tasty.
Place one of your colored markers. So we're going to place the green marker, which we're going to use that as the colored marker, in the location specified here, which is specifically the cavern in Whiterun. So we'll put that right there.
Oh, God, you kill me. You know these are arrows pointing down, right?
They are now. And then place Khajiit in Whiterun.
Nice.
So we'll put the quest card right here for both of us to see. Quest markers help you find where you need to go on the game board. They are sometimes used for other purposes like tracking progress during a quest. These markers can either be colored, meaning they belong to a specific player, or they could be gray, meaning they belong to any player who reaches that space. Once a player moves on to the quest marker, they resolve the quest, and then the quest marker can be removed from the game board. So here we go. First game turn. So this is how the game instructs us to play the first turn. Draw an event card and read it. So we have 4 event cards.
Reaches for where they're supposed to be.
We have 4 event cards. We're going to draw the first one called T1. Troll Threat. It is a world quest.
Trolls! In the dungeon. Come on.
This is a world quest, so it's going to go on the left side of our game board once we finish reading it. Someone disturbed a group of trolls. They are now on a rampage. Put a token on the axes in Haljamarch. And that's going to be a gray one that we're going to take. And Haljamarch is right there. And it's going to go on the axes, which I guess would be this one.
Yep.
Okay. So world
Oh,
quest.
I did. You got the world quest that has that. Nice.
So then it says place the event card on the world quest slot on the game board. The event is a world quest. Like main quests, these will give you a task to complete. Unlike main quests, world quests can be completed by any player. Most events will add threat tokens. These represent increasing chaos and disarray in the world. Every time a card prompts you to add a threat token, you will choose to place it either on a card with the marker on it that card has, or the stronghold chart on the game board. That is right here. It'll actually affect the strongholds. The strongholds are all of the named locations, and it can cause, we'll say, instability, closure, rioting are the official names, but it just makes things way more difficult. You have to pay gold to access it, and it's just a mess.
To remove them, all the yada yada.
Yes. Adding threat tokens to the stronghold will degrade the stronghold. Look at that. I already read it. Take the threat token that the event card gives you and place it on the world quest.
Okay.
So if you want to show that, I'll go over your board. You want to show the card where it has the token?
So right here in this little spot above where it tells you to place the marker to go to complete the objective, it has the threat token icons. We're going to put that right on there.
Yep. So after drawing an event and resolving any additional game effects, players move on the game board. A player can move up to 4 spaces using roads from one space to another. Strongholds, dungeons, and wilderness are represented by diamond-shaped spaces on the board. So that is all the space you can travel to, or all the different things. Move to the cave in Whiterun. So we're going to go down and move to the cave right where that token is.
All right.
It is time to face main quest. Once you've reached the destination card, the cave in Whiterun, read past the line. At the end of the card, you'll see an objective.
I reach the cave. I feel exhausted, but I must endure. Too much is at stake. It says clear one cave. I assume that's a cave card.
Yes, it is. So, at the end of the card, you'll see clear one cave. This means you have to explore the dungeon to succeed. If you move to a dungeon during your turn, you can explore it as an action. In this case, doing so also completes the main quest, so it serves two purposes. You will normally draw random enemies depending on the chapter you're playing, but in this case, find the mud crab and the bear and place it face up on the game board. Or next to the game board. We're going to place it down here so everyone can see.
Get those out of the way.
And we're going to scroll that over. There we go. So, place the red armor cube on the second slot of the mud crab's armor track. Oh, so it's just like Tainted Ground.
Yeah, in this way. That's really funny.
And then it says, find the bear, place it face down to the right of the mud crab. So you got to face one, then the other. Players begin combat with Sneak, Awareness, Ambush phase. Any player can choose to sneak up on an enemy as long as they're not wearing heavy armor or using a spell to do so. Movia has light armor and a dagger, so she can sneak.
Nice.
So that is our Khajiit. Dice rolls in the game are called skill tests. In skill tests, you roll 3 skill test dice, which are the white dice here.
Which I am best at.
In this case, sure, you can roll them. We didn't get that far, but okay. In this case, the skill is sneak. So Moiva would roll 3 dice. However, Moiva's equipment gives her bonuses to sneak. The hide armor gives 1. So if you look at your little items here, each item will have a little thing. So this here for hide armor says sneak 1. The dagger also says sneak 1. So this means you gain an additional die for each item. Finally, the Khajiit character card says once per turn you can spend a health to gain another sneak die. This is as good as any time to use it. So move our health down 1, and you get 3 more dice. Therefore, roll 6 dice.
So you always roll at least 3?
3 is the base.
So now 6 will be rolled. Nice.
Yes. The mud crab has sneak 1. Yep, and then the little symbol here. The symbol is the circle icon on the skill test dice. This is the mud crab's overall awareness, and this is used as a difficulty of the sneak roll. If you manage to beat that difficulty, you'll succeed. So, for the tutorial, it says set every die to the circle. Moiva is an expert infiltrator, and her sneak skills are stuff of legends. Because you rolled equal or higher, in this case, than the difficulty, you're a success. So you need to roll at least 1. We rolled 6 after messing with them.
Oh, but we don't get the experience.
When a sneak succeeds, you choose any attack from your equipped weapon and resolve it. On your dagger, you find 2 effects here. So we have swing and we have stab. Each time you attack, you pay the cost before the attack. To the right of the attack, you'll see the damage dealt. Swing deals 1 light damage. Stab deals 2 light damage. Also, in the sneak line of the iron dagger, you see sneak gains double damage. As the mud crab only has 2 points of heavy armor, you instantly defeat it using stab. 2 light damage times 2.
So what do we do here?
So you can choose which one you want to do. So if we look at it,
stab.
so swing would be free. Stab would cost you 1 stamina, but it deals 2 light damage.
Got it.
I give you 2 light damage.
And then it says something about this. The hide armor gives
sneak gives double damage.
Oh, sneak gives you that. Okay.
So
it'd be essentially 2 and 4 then, if you attacked after sneaking.
Yes.
Got it.
So it says the mud crab has 2 points
of health. Yep.
Of health. So enemy cards have a bar on the left side. This indicates the enemy's armor. Enemies don't have a health track. All the damage they take is applied to their armor. Once all the armor reduces to 0, the enemy is defeated. So I'm assuming this is going to tell us that 2 light equals 1 heavy. And that's why we had to do that one. But let's find out if that tells us that. Damage to enemies. When attacking an enemy, you compare your damage. If the color matches, the damage is reduced by the armor value. For example, if you deal 5 heavy damage to an enemy with 3 heavy armor, you would only deal 2 damage. The damage is taken from the enemy's armor of the corresponding color. If the enemy's armor would block your attack entirely, the armor track is still always reduced by 1.
So the little like the axe here is heavy armor. So here it has 2 heavy armor. So we need to hit it for 2 of that heavy. So it's saying there is if you dealt it 3 heavy.
So it says damage, here if you dealt it 5 heavy, so
5 heavy damage. 5 heavy. It has 3 heavy armor. Then we dealt 2 damage.
Damage, yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
If the enemy does not have an armor track that matches the color, the enemy takes full damage. For example, if the enemy has 3 heavy armor and 2 light armor, and the player deals 5 magic damage, they can choose whether to reduce heavy or light armor.
And light armor
damage is lost.
And light armor is the same symbol as the light attack, but filled in.
Yeah, so one's filled in. The defense is filled in. Offense is.
Yeah. So then heavy attack, so someone who has light armor, just outright just murders them. Because light armor can't stop the heavy attack. Right? That's what it said?
No, it says if they have 3 heavy armor and 2 light armor, if you deal 5 magic damage, you can choose which one to go after.
That's for magic. Yeah.
That's not just for magic. That's for if you're dealing with a different color. So, like, if they had 2 colors, let's say they had heavy and light protection, and you dealt some magic because it didn't match either of those, you get to choose which one. So if they had heavy and magic and you dealt light damage, you would choose one of the 2.
I feel like light damage wouldn't block heavy armor, wouldn't be able to get through heavy armor.
It shouldn't, but it does, because in this case,
what did it say there again?
So as the mud crab only has 2 points of heavy armor, you can defeat it by using stab 2 light damage times 2.
Okay, I think they must say somewhere that the light damage, 2 light damage equals 1 heavy armor.
We will check that in the rulebook.
Yeah.
On exactly how damage works.
I think we were saying for magic, because magic isn't subject to light or heavy armor. It's saying you get to choose which one you subtract from. I don't think, though, if you're attacking something with light damage that you can affect.
I agree, but I don't
heavy.
think that's what it's saying. We'll find out here. Hold on. Dealing damage. Heavy armor protects against hand, slow, and highly destructive blows. Light armor protects against fast blows. Magic protects against arcane sources. And it's represented by the 3 different symbols.
Mm-hmm.
When players receive any kind of damage, they first subtract from any armor they have of the same type. Example, if you had 3 heavy armor and you receive 5 heavy damage, you would subtract the heavy armor first, resulting in 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
If the attack is lower than, the player loses 1 stamina. If the player has no stamina, they lose health. If the player has no armor matching the enemy attack type, for example, the enemy attacks with 3 magic, but the player has no magic armor, they take full damage. Matching armor and attack. However, there are attacks that deal more than 1 type of damage at the same time. These are shown with slashes, okay, so that's how we know if there's double. Final blow. Damage against enemies, that's the same example. That's all it says. So it just says literally that.
Okay, I have a question for Jen, and you get the pad anyway for you.
If the player has no armor matching the enemy attack type, the player takes full damage.
What's that?
So it means as long as you're attacking, if I'm attacking light against heavy, light just gets through, evidently.
Interesting. That doesn't make sense to me.
I agree.
Why would you have the different types of armor if that's the case?
Some enemy attacks affect magicka or stamina. That means you just got to pay for it.
Okay.
I guess it just means that you don't have armor protecting you against it. So, for example, if you have like heavy armor, maybe it's like you have chainmail on, but like the light attack hits you in the leg because it's fast.
Oops, sorry about that. Yep. I had to get up and I smell something
Incense.
burning. So I didn't know if it was an incense or like because it's so hot, these
Oh.
lights. So
I think it's incense, right?
yeah, it is. You need a pen.
Yeah.
I believe.
All right. So I apologize if that's confusing to anyone who's watching right now. But it looks like when you attack, if the player that you're attacking has the same armor type of your attack, you have to go against the armor first, then for damage. If it doesn't have the same, you just go straight for damage.
So just it only helps for here's the pad.
Yeah.
Okay, so heavy armor can block heavy attacks, but not light attacks.
Or magic
specifically.
attacks.
Right. So no, because it said if you're with magic, you're choosing which one.
No,
to roll
that's
down.
the example with the magic was if you had both. For example, if you had heavy and light armor. So let's say you had something that gave you heavy, something that gave you light. All right, so we're just going to continue. We think we understand it. We'll provide some clarity in the YouTube video if we need to. But that cost us 1 stamina. So we move our stamina track down by 1. So we've spent 1 health. To get an extra die, we spent 1 stamina. Now, remove the heavy armor token from the mud crab. After defeating an enemy, you reap the rewards. These are listed at the bottom of the enemy card. So right here, that means we get 1 experience token. And you place it on its slot on your character board. So on our character board here, we have a little thing. Boom, experience token goes in. The mud crab does not have any additional rewards, so now you go on and face your next enemy. After completing an encounter within a dungeon, and before starting the next one, characters replenish magicka, stamina completely. Health is not recovered. So I get to recover stamina. I get to flip the second dungeon card, so now we flip and we have the bear. Place a yellow cube on the 4th slot of the bear's track. So, as we can see here on this card, this is light armor. So that's why we have a red cube will indicate heavy, yellow indicate light. We have other colors over here to indicate magic. Time to face the second enemy. We start again by sneaking. Most innate abilities on a character card can be used once per game. Moiva already used her Khajiit innate ability, so she will roll 5 dice. So we have our 3 base dice. We have 1 for our high armor and 1 for our iron dagger. So
okay, yeah. So that's
we roll the dice. The bear has a sneak difficulty of 3, which is significantly better than the mud crab. In this case, we'll set 2 dice. Ha! That's hilarious.
nice.
I rolled exactly how it told me to set them.
Nice.
So we're going to get 2 of the circles, 3 of the Skyrim symbol. During combat, after sneak awareness and ambush, we'll start the enemy action. Now you roll the enemy die. Roll that red die.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like for the attack. So what it said in there is if somebody has like heavy and light armor, and you're attacking them with, say, a light attack, you have to get rid of their light armor before you can get rid of their heavy armor.
Yeah.
And so it's just like all it does is dictate which order you get rid of the armor.
But if it only has 1, you can attack with something else and goes right through.
Looks like it.
You want to roll the red die? So this is the enemy die. If any of the icons listed in the enemy attack is rolled, the enemy will take the action. For example, there's a skull, there's an axe listed on the swing attack. Rolling either of these result in the enemy action. For now, set it to the axe. This means the bearer will use crush. The damage on the right side of the crush is 2 heavy damage. As Moiva only has 2 light protected by her heavy armor, she will suffer the full blow. Right now, your health is near full, so you can afford to suffer damage.
Oh, okay.
Slide it 2 spots to the left.
There's a difference too. So if you had 2 heavy armor,
it would block that.
It would block that, but because so and vice versa. So if this was a light attack and you had heavy armor, then the light attack would get right through.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Now you'll choose your attack. Choose any action from your iron dagger. So as again, we have swing and stab. Let's start with stab. Spend 1 point of stamina, then roll a skill test. In this case, the one-handed skill will give you an additional die, but Moiva hasn't quite mastered this skill yet, so you'll only roll 3 dice. Roll 3 dice. The difficulty of the stab is 1 triangle, so the attack is failed. Skill, roll. We still roll. Oh, we're going to set the roll.
Yeah.
So it says to set the roll like this, not what I rolled, because I rolled a perfect roll. So you need to set it like Nick. If this happened, you needed 1 triangle, you have failed. Still, not all hope is lost. Most skill tests and all combat skill tests, with the exception of sneaking, allow you to push. When you push, spend 1 resource. In combat, that's a stamina. So we're going to spend another stamina to roll an additional die. In this case, we're going to set that die to a triangle. Moiva pushed through the challenge and succeeded. The stab attack deals 2 light damage, but Bear has 4 light armor. Because the enemy always takes at least 1 damage, the enemy's armor is reduced by 1 point.
Down to 3. Yep.
Slide the enemy's light armor down 1 slot. This ends the first combat round. Let's start the second with the bear attacking. Roll the enemy die. Set the result to a blank.
Missed.
That means it missed. Now roll 3 skill test dice of your own. Set it to 3
skill check test dice
of the symbol that I don't see. This symbol.
Diamonds.
There we go. Set it to 3.
The bear explodes.
An absolutely epic roll. Rolling additional diamonds does not affect this attack. The skill test only determines whether you succeed or fail. Reduce the enemy by 1 point. Roll, and then you're going to roll the enemy die again. So we're just going to repeat over and over and over again in combat. Once you finish combat, let's say we've succeeded, you're going to remove the yellow cube away from the enemy. You're going to take 1 experience token and place it on your character board. The bear also has choice of rewards. So at the bottom of the bear card here, we can see 1 experience, 1 bee, which is a basic, or 1 flower, which is a plant. We're going to take the plant. So you would go over, you'd find a plant, and you would add that into your area here in the middle, which is where the different resources will get stored. You have completed a dungeon. Each time a dungeon is completed, the player dealing the killing blow gains a basic treasure. In the game, you would draw a random card, but we're going to take a specific one. So you're going to go to the basic deck, and we're going to take gesture gloves. I hate that. That was such a weird word to say every time.
Gesture?
Gesture. And of course, it's the one at the very bottom.
Naturally.
And you're going to place it in the top right corner of your player board. So it's going to go up here. The symbols match. Now I have sneak of 1 again. So anytime I sneak, I get to roll 3 additional dice.
Nice.
Plus I have the bonus here. Once you've taken your rewards, the gesture gloves give you sneak. Completing a cave dungeon at this point serves another purpose. Moiva completes her main quest. So the main quest here, the objective stated to clear a dungeon. This card is now complete. Flip the main quest card and read the success. While leaving the cave, I get the feeling that will not be the last bear I will face. Gain 3 more experience tokens, which we're going to flip 1 to 3, and we're going to have 4, and now 5. At the bottom of the card, you're given a choice. Either follow the orders of Thalmor Masters, which is option 1, or follow the directive of a Daedric Prince. Choose to side with the Thalmor, which will not make your Daedric Prince happy. This choice will prompt you to draw main quest T6. Read until you reach the line. You'll see the next part of the main quest take place in Wilhelm. So T6, which I'll give you this, don't really get that. Having completed the original main quest, you can now remove your color quest marker from the board.
Nice.
And place it on Wilhelm, where the next quest will take place. We'll do that in a second. At the end of each game turn, restore all health, stamina, and magicka. So this will all go back to the top.
When a quest is completed?
No, when your game turn completes.
The turn. Oh, you just recover when the turn's done.
So as long as you're not dead.
Okay.
So now we're back up to 5, 5, and 5. We have 5 experience. We have 1 plant. And now we have gained the gesture gloves.
All right. So this needs to go into Wilhelm or Windhelm.
We got to read the
Helm.
top 2.
I already told you. I will.
Sure.
I was looking for it. Switch or hold. Windhelm right there. You have you. Range special token.
Well, I didn't know where. No, I didn't know where it had to go.
It just says Windhelm.
Oh, just okay. I didn't know.
Yep.
Like, yeah, okay.
Read the card first. Should do that.
Yep.
I have some contacts in Windhelm who owe me some favors. Time to get even. So we're going to Windhelm. Put that bad boy right there for now.
What is our objective?
I mean, right now it's just to get to Windhelm. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The second turn starts exactly as the first one by drawing an event card. Draw event card excess wares. Perfect. And read it. Recent economic activities had an impact on the amount of raw materials available. When exploring the forest or town, gain 1 additional resource.
Solid.
The event is marked as an active event. Place it on the active event slot on the game board. When an event is active, its effects remain in place until another active event replaces it, at which point it's moved to the event discard pile. This card features an icon, which is the 3 colored for the resources, which represents any component. Looks like stone, plant, or crystal.
Pretty much.
Much like the previous event card, this one asks us to add 1 threat token. Since the world quest is 1 threat token away from being lost, we won't place it there. Let's place it on the stronghold chart next to the symbol which represents solitude. It's coat of arms. So did this one tell you to put the threat token on there?
Yeah.
It did? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it sounds, I guess.
Because the upper left-hand corner says 2.
Oh, that's the
once it gets to 2 threat tokens, it's gone.
Got it. Okay.
So having 1 is fine.
Got it.
So anytime we have those cards, we can stack threat tokens on it first, but then we'd have to go over here so we don't lose the quest, unless we don't care about the quest.
Got it.
We care about every quest.
Yep. Take the threat token that the event card gives you and place on the stronghold chart on the unstable slot of solitude, which you did. Placing a threat token here means that the stronghold degrades. It is now unstable and the market is inaccessible. Depending on how many threat tokens a stronghold has, the effects will be different. These effects can be found underneath the stronghold chart and are explained fully on page 18 of the rulebook.
Welcome in, Megs. Thanks for hopping in. This is the tutorial, so we're trying to walk through it. So we're going to make a video for the tutorial, and then we're going to be hopping right into Campaign 1, Chapter 1. So we're just flopping back and forth, trying to get the tutorial understanding.
Turns, going through, learning the game.
Have you played Skyrim before? Is this your first hop in and watching the video?
Melting in LA. After the event, you may move. Let's explore a stronghold. Move the player figure 4 spaces to Falkreath. Where is Falkreath?
Down.
Falkreath. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There are many things a player can do in a stronghold. They can visit the market to craft, purchase, sell, upgrade, and enchant items, and they can explore the area to meet new interesting people. Moiva is a social Khajiit, so she is keen on mingling with the locals. What we'll do now is called a narrative exploration. Explained in full on page 34 of the rulebook.
You've read the manual, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So we both did that together off stream the other day. So we've read through the whole rulebook to make sure we understand the general concept. But we had another viewer ask us to give some clarity. So we're working our way through the tutorial, and we'll make some kind of bullet point things in our comments to hopefully make it make sense for everybody.
So I think so far the one of the confusing things you ran into was the armor and attack system. Like, why is there light? Why is there heavy? How can light hurt? Yada yada. And I guess really all it is to dictate, what type of attack your armor blocks specifically. And if your armor doesn't block that specific attack that's being done on you, then you take the full 4. So just to recap, because you just jumped in, if it's confusing for you, if a character has 3 heavy armor and it's attacked with 3 light attack, it takes all 3 damage. Where if it has 3 heavy armor and it's attacked with, say, 2 or 3 heavy attack, then that armor blocks it. But it says in the rulebook, enemies always take at least 1 damage.
Yeah, so the armor will slightly diminish each time it gets attacked.
Yep.
How are you liking it overall? Or is it too... I'm going to love it. So Skyrim is one of my favorite video games ever.
Yep.
I've played it. I can't even tell you how many hundreds of hours I've put into that game since 2011. but I think this would be great.
Oh, yeah.
I think right now it's just a little
Just figuring it out.
kind of figure it out. It's just a little clunky, but
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Well, yeah. Once we get the feel for the flow of each turn, we'll be like skeeting through. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for subscribing with your Prime.
yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It didn't pop up, but we're working on building some customized.
Yes, I am the artist of the
Yes.
group here. So little by little, I am going to be making some animations for follow, subscribes, tips, all that kind of stuff. At the same time, I am right now working on some artwork for a game that we are designing. So
Yes.
distant future, you'll see some stuff on that. Alrighty, so narrative exploration is what we're doing. When traveling through Skyrim, players can often find themselves meeting other people or in perilous situations. Whenever a player is in a stronghold or a forest space, they may choose to use their action to explore the area. To do so, they draw a town or a forest card and resolve it. So kind of like The Witcher.
Yeah.
Just fun. Old
Like
world.
inside, outside, but this is a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So draw a town exploration card, Nerins. The town deck is full of characters in need of assistance. When you resolve a city or wilderness exploration card, you often, so forest, not wilderness, my bad. You often find useful components along the way. The card will often first give the player a free component of their choice and then ask for their help. So for this one, it said to grab the Nerins. Help! Sorry. Help you out with some criminal? Of course! Give me a hand with this project first. So it says gain 1 of any resource. So this tells us specifically to take the plant component. I'm just putting board there.
Yep.
Most exploration cards provide an additional personal quest. Having personal quests is useful as they give you the chance to gain fantastic treasures, experience, and they serve as an extra place to put threat tokens, which can really help later on. Furthermore, due to the active event excess wares, you gain 1 extra component, in this case, 1 extra plant.
Sure.
And so we have that because of the active event that we drew at the beginning there, which is an extra 1. Perfect, did that. Read the card, we did. Nerins is asking you for help crafting a sturdy chain. This requires a skill test. These are like the combat skill tests. The only difference is that you can push as many times as you want, as long as you have the necessary resources. Let's put these out of the way here.
Yep. And to recap, to push, you have to spend a stamina. You get an extra die.
So
that's after your initial roll.
So craft sturdy chain. All right. It says roll your skill test. 3 skill test dice. So same with like attacking. You roll a base of 3 for normal. It'll tell set them to something here. Set the skill test. I almost had it right. Skill test dice to one of the circles and 2 of the triangles there. You don't have enough successes, so let's push using those plant components you found. First, discard 1 plant component.
Yep. So yeah. So right here on the card it says, in this case of pushing, costs 1 plant. So we're back down to 2 plants.
Yep. And so we have an extra die which we would roll, and we'll say we rolled Mr. Diamond here. It says set the die to the diamond. No luck. You have more plant components, so you try to push again. So we discard another one, push it, and it says to set this one to a diamond as well.
Oh.
Set this out of 1 diamond. You failed again. This skill test is becoming more complex than anticipated. Try once more. And boom, like magic. This time we'll set the result to a success. Finally, now you have enough successes to help Nerins make the chain. She is grateful and gives you 2 soul gems and some septims, which is the gold. Gain 2 of those and 2 gold. Or septims, as they call them. The card also has a line that reads, it's a red slash through a card, which equals...
Draw T8.
T8. So discard, draw T8. So that means the slash icon means remove from game. So remove that from the game. This means that if you want to take Nerins' personal quest, you'll have to remove Nerins' card from the game. Otherwise, you place Nerins' card on the city. Discard deck, so she may appear again later in the game. Okay, so you can choose. Either put in the discard deck
so if you want
that, or you can take the personal quest now. So we're going to choose to take the personal quest now. So remove that from the game. Take T8. Personal quest cards are very similar to main quests. You'll find the same elements in front of in the front and the back. You can only have the 2 personal quests at any point in the game. Does it state that here? Nope, it just says quests. Cool. Read the front of your personal quest until you reach the line. Nerintz leads me to a ruin not far from Windhelm. So we're placing a marker in the, whatever that's called, Eastwatch, like the dome, the cage thing. Not that one. It's in Eastwatch.
Oh, in Eastwatch.
Yeah.
Eastwatch is
Probably
East Marsh. Eastwatch?
Sorry, March. I flipped it. I think this is the one that's in East March, isn't it?
They're both in East
Oh,
March.
are they really?
Because Windhelm's the stronghold. East March is the territory. So these are both technically in East.
Interesting.
No, this is in the Rift. This is in East March.
No, it's on the side of the blue line. So they both are technically.
Oh yeah, because this is the whatever.
Yeah,
Doesn't
whatever. Doesn't matter. Cool. Place one of your color quest markers on the ruined space in East March. Okay, that's one of them. Oh, there we go. So as there are two different ruined spaces in East March, you get to choose which one you want to go to. Just continue reading; we'll be fine. Place your colored quest marker in the southernmost ruined space in.
We failed.
Yep. Typical us. We immediately try to figure out how to play the game, and it usually just tells us how. You now have two different objectives represented by your colored quest markers. However, you are still exploring Falkwraith. Whenever you are in a stronghold, you can explore the market, buy, sell, craft, upgrade, and enchant items, all in the same turn. We'll try to enchant our dagger, make it more effective. Check your iron dagger item. At the bottom, you'll see that the enchantment price is 2 soul gem components.
So here's our little thing. So yep, 2 soul gems to enchant the item.
Nice. Cool. This means that by paying the components, you get to draw 1 card from the enchantment deck and apply it to your item. If you have more components, you can pay 1 additional component, that 1 soul gem component, to draw another card to choose from, and so on until you're satisfied with the result. See Rulebook page 40 for more details. Right now, we only have 2 soul gem components, so we'll draw 1 card only. So we spend the 2, return the bind the muffle enchantment in the upgrades and enchantments deck. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't say it?
I read.
Okay, cool. You would generally draw a random card, but for Movia's sake, we'll choose the one that benefits her. The muffle enchantment gives her an additional sneak die when she has the item equipped, making her a well-known authority in the matter of sneaking.
Does it say how to place this? I'm assuming to be something like this.
Probably.
So that's specifically the enchantment, not the upgrade.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so yeah.
And that completes the second turn of the game. Does it show us here?
No. Oh, it stacks it. Doesn't? Nope.
Yeah. So you do it. So you do it like this.
So it's showing that it's that side.
Yeah, and if you use it that way, you flip it over.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay.
Cool. So we have that. This one. And Windhelm. Did we do that one already?
Yeah, T6 is no Windhelm. That's the actual one.
That's that one, right? So this is this one. Boom,
Yeah.
boom. Okay, so we have both of those.
Yep.
Cool. What? This is their personal quest.
No, this is the generic quest. Or no, it's not. You're right. It's personal quest.
Yeah. This is the world quest.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the only person. We're the only person here.
Third game turn. All
right. I haven't done the tutorial yet. This is so helpful. Thank you. At the end of this, we'll give you bullet points. So we only have 2 game turns left, so it's only 1 page each. Yeah. And then it ends, and we can actually go into the campaign.
Yeah, we'll do a recap on things that were kind of confusing
for
clarity.
So we're going to draw a new event card. So every game turn, you draw an event card.
Yep.
We now have Daedric Influence. This is an instant event. It is resolved immediately, and it tells you pretty much just what it does. It places in the event discard after you're done. You have 1 main quest, 1 personal quest, and 1 world quest.
Yep.
Each of them now receive a threat token.
Oh no!
So a Daedric prince is forcing their will on Skyrim. So you take 3 of these tokens. We're going to place 1 on this card here, which is... No, I'm just kidding, not that card. We're going to take 1 on each of these.
Yeah.
And then 1 over there.
And that means this guy's gone.
The world quest, the threat limit is 2. The quest is now failed. Read the failure section.
Okay. It says place a troll token on any wilderness space.
So, failure section says place a troll token on a wilderness space in the reach. Specific in this example.
Oh, okay.
So over here, we're going to go. Oh, that was a lucky grab. We have a troll token. And we actually have
Let's say, do we have
the
trolls?
minis. I don't know which one's which right now.
What do the trolls look like? These are the trolls, right? The werewolf-looking guys?
No, those are the wolves.
These trolls?
Those are wolves.
They are?
They're actual wolves in this game, too.
Which is at the bottom.
So we have vampires. We'll have Thalmor Justices. We have dragons, trolls. I don't know exactly which one the troll is. I'm going to keep reading that while you look at that. That's far enough away. The troll shouldn't be a problem right now. Move the player's figure 4 spaces to East March.
So it goes to the reach?
Yeah, it goes to the reach on the wilderness space.
This is the reach.
Yeah.
I'm putting it there for now, so it's easier to see.
Yeah, that is the one. Oh, okay. Here,
yeah, that's what I got. That's the troll, right?
Sure. So we're going to go 1,
Keep going.
2, 3, 4. We're now at that location where that little marker is. Read the text on your personal quest, T8. The personal test says, we've reached one of the main chambers, and Irene shows me the trap she's preparing. I need help lifting this so I can hang it on the hook. Objective, lift the cage. The personal quest involves a track test. These work like any regular skill test. However, instead of rolling 3 skill test dice plus bonuses, you roll as many dice as the maximum points you have in the specific track. In this case, it's stamina. So if we look at our stamina game, we have 5 is where our marker is right now. It could go up as you advance your character and everything. So 5 is right there. So we will, for this quest, take 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to tell us exactly how to set the dice. So it says set the dice so you rolled 5 diamonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You rolled 1 roll in a million. Unfortunately, an absolutely useless one in this case. You do have 2 plant components, so you could push. However, you need 3 successes, and you can only achieve 2. As a result, you fail the quest.
Oh, no.
Now flip the card and read the failure section. So we're going to take the card here for T8. We're going to read it. Failure. The cage is too heavy. We managed to attach it to the hook, but it seems unstable. And then it has a threat token symbol. As the quest is now resolved, remove your colored marker from East March. The result in failing is adding a threat token. This can be added to a quest or to the stronghold. We're going to add it to Morthal.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
So Morthal is...
I was right. Those are trolls.
Nice. Morthal is on our chart here, so we now made that one unstable.
Oh, no. Unstable.
This is the end of the 3rd turn. We are now entering the 4th and final turn of the tutorial.
Perfect timing. There's a handy little
On the back.
cheat sheet on the back here.
Oh, nice.
So I was looking for it in the book. It doesn't say in the book. I was like, there's no way it doesn't say. Because I bump everything.
Yep.
All right. 4th game 10. What did I miss? Troll in the dungeon. Reach.
We just went here. We failed this quest.
God, you were failing everything.
I was told to fail.
Oh
I don't
my
roll fail.
goodness.
It's only you do.
Nick rolled. All right. Draw an event card. Perfect weather. There we are. The mild temperature lifts the spirits and makes every task easier. It says once per game turn, gain 1 die when rolling a skill test. Nice. So that's going to go on top, replacing the other one. So the other one goes in the discard pile. Another active event. This means that the current active event, excess wares, is placed on the event discard pile, and the new one is placed on the active event slot of the game board.
Yep.
The effects of this event will continue until this card is discarded. This is a pretty good card. So now is the perfect moment to attempt to complete the main quest. Move your player figure 3 spaces to Windhelm. It's time to attempt the last main quest. Read the contents of the card after the line. Another skill test this time. We'll let you roll on your own. Of course, I get this one. I enter Candlehearth Hall and approach one of the guards off duty. He listens to me while I explain the situation. All right, so I'm going to get to roll for this one. Okay, so it says roll your skill test. So it should be 4 dice, so 3 dice plus 1 due to the event of perfect weather. Good. All right, difficulty is 2 of the like Celtic circles. Not too hard. They don't know I'm rolling. Should you fail the roll, you can push using the gold.
Nice.
You have 2 of these, so you could push up to 2 times. Once you've rolled, flip the card and read either success or failure section and the rest of the card.
Let you roll.
Oh yeah,
Not even tell you
that's what I said. I said, of course, I get. So do you want to show them
sure,
what
let's
do
zoom right in there.
There we go. All right, so result, we need 2 of these Celtic circles to win. If you have not seen me roll beforehand, I am notoriously bad at rolling dice. Oh my goodness!
Only the tutorial.
Probably. Most likely. All right. So we succeeded. And we rolled 4 again because we have the base of 3. And then because of the perfect weather, it gives us an extra die for every skill test. So we read the success on the back here. Didn't need to push. He agrees to honor my request. He also seems eager to do what I ask. I give him the list. Gained 3 experience.
Nice.
The list of Thalmor gave me is long. I will have to use most of my contacts to fulfill the Thalmor's request. My little pawn, you disappointed me. You chose a different master. Maybe it's time I find myself a new pawn. Okay. It says, congratulations, you have finished the tutorial. This tutorial has given you a quick overview of the main mechanics of the game and an introduction to the story. But there are more rules that apply to the full game. We recommend reading the rule book before playing the full game. But for those who want to dive right in, make use of the reference guides to give you an overview of the most important mechanics. I think we'll review the reference guides as well.
That's these right here.
Yep.
We'll talk about that in a second.
But yeah. Okay, cool.
So yeah, so that is the tutorial basis of this game.
Not broken.
Not broken, unlike RuneScape Kingdoms.
Which again, they may have done that on purpose to make you really like have to think about it and learn. I don't know. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt there. Instead of doubting the benefit.
So to go through some of the highlights, especially for you, Megs, if you're still on, and for anyone else who will watch this video on YouTube, your basis here is your character board that you see on the screen.
Yep.
So you'll have your character card. Each character card will have its own abilities. Some of them, such as these 2, require you to gain the upgrade abilities, which you can do using experience. So for example, as you can see here, we have a bunch of experience we learned in this tutorial. We're not actually going to keep it, but the first marker is 7. So you can spend 7 experience to gain one of the upgrades. So let's say, for example, I wanted Sneak that I can't find as easily as I want. There we go. Let's say I wanted Sneak. I can buy it for 7. It would go right there into the marker. Sneak now gives me 1 additional. So after learning Sneak, you gain 1 additional die when you're doing the Sneak function. So you just spend those there and have that. You have your gold section. You have your resources section. All of those upgrades. You have your health, your stamina, your magicka. And then you have everything you're going to hold. So you'll have your head armor. You'll have your body armor. You'll have whatever's in your hands, so your weapons. You'll have any foot and leg. You'll have separate accessories and potions. On the bottom, you have backpack slots. You have 2 status card slots. And you have your quests. So those personal quests, they would go right there. And these will continue to be upgraded as we did here with the muffle. You follow the instructions on the bottom of the card in order to do that upgrade. So
do you know how many can have more than 1 upgrade, or?
I believe no. I believe you can have 1 up. Oh, maybe.
We'll have to check that.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
We'll look at that when we get to that point.
In here in the bottom corner, the top of that half circle is enchantment. The bottom is upgrade. So it's what you have to pay. The soul gems, or the rock.
Ah. And then these cards are all the same, right? So one side's the enchantment, one side's the upgrade?
Yeah. But there's a bunch of different things it could do.
Got it. Oh, this has +1 on the side, so I assume you
That's the upgrade side.
put it to the side like this, or you probably put it like that?
I would assume so, yeah. But it's +1 armor, yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
So that is the basis of what you have in the game board. The rule book will tell you exactly what you start with your character.
Yep.
And then for the game board itself, as we just went through the tutorial, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, you have your locations on here. It seems like for the most part, so the board itself, there's colored borders around areas. So like, was this White Run Hold is this whole like yellow section, and then you have the reach, which is over here. And you have this green spot. So in case, so if it tells you to put a token on a cave in White Run Hold, you'll know it's going to be a cave that's within this yellow area. So it can't be this one or that one or this one. It has to be this guy here in the middle. But like we just saw with East March, if it tells you to put a token in an area, sometimes there may be two. So here, both of these ruins are both in this East March location, which is encased in blue. And of course, when you have the upper right hand is where all your market locations are. So as threat tokens go on there to make it more difficult to access those markets, you have to pay, I think it was what, 5 gold to remove a marker off there.
Yes.
When you go there. And then of course you have your world events and your event deck. But how far can you move each turn? Is
4
it 4
spaces.
is the maximum? Yeah. So
and the big difference, so if you played games like Tainted Grail, RuneScape Kingdoms, etc., and you're playing with 2 players like Nick and I are playing, I can decide to move and kind of do my turn, and then based on how that goes, Nick can decide how to do his. That is not the case for Skyrim. For Skyrim, your very first action as a group of the game turn is you both move. So you cannot do any attacking, quests, anything until both characters have moved. And then once you're done, the movement phase is completely done with unless a card tells you otherwise. Then you can go into your attacks and your quests and everything.
Because then you get to discuss, okay, you know what, let's both converge in White Run and, go and do that together.
It does make it a little more difficult, though, because if I commit one direction, you commit the other, and I get attacked and die, then that opens up problems.
Yeah.
So we gotta, it's way more strategic to be like, how are we moving?
I mean, that's still kind of the same as the other games, to where, if you got into a battle, I couldn't choose to come and join you in battle afterwards. I had to be there with you in the battle.
For that battle. So, you could have been next to me. I could have moved, done the battle, and then you could have came in and, resurrected me. But in this case, you can't if you're going your own way.
We have to wait to the next turn and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Then we have these handy reference cards here as well. Yep. So on one side, you have your stronghold action. So when arriving in a stronghold, a player can do the following in any order. So you can do all of these in any order. Take 1 turn action, which is completing a quest or exploring the stronghold. Of course, when you explore, you draw from the town card deck. You can upgrade / enchant items, sell items, buy items, craft items, buy a horse for 10 gold.
Which gives you +1 movement.
When starting their turn in the stronghold, instead of moving, the player can take a carriage to move directly to another stronghold, moving through holds as if they were spaces in the game board by paying 1 gold for space they move. It says for a hold they move. So
these are all called holds.
Yeah,
so
I know.
They're calling it a space, you're moving a space.
Yeah, so when starting
this thing, that's really a hold.
Well, so there's the strongholds, which are specifically these.
Yes.
Instead of moving, the player can take a carriage to move directly to another stronghold.
Moving through holds. So each of these are holds. The Rift is a hold. Each March is a hold. So instead of a territory, they call these holds.
Got you. So you pay 1 gold for each one. So if I'm going from here to here, it'd be 1, 2.
Yes.
Got it. Cool. So 2 gold.
To show on the board, I was showing you.
Yeah, sorry. So if I'm at Falkreath and I want to get all the way up to Morthal, I don't have to go, no. You can pay gold to get right over there, to essentially teleport there. And what you'll do is if you're starting in this Falkreath area, and if you're going up to Morthal, I would have to go through the White Run Hold to get to Morthal, which means I'd pay 1 gold to go through this hold section, and then a second 1 to go into this hold section.
Yes.
Got it. Cool. And then you have your turn actions that list down here as well. So during their turn, each player can do one of the following. You can complete a quest. You can explore a dungeon. You can explore town or wilderness. You can encounter a roaming monster. So after completing an encounter with a roaming monster, the player can move one space, ending their movement in an empty space. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
So even if you've done your 4, if you ended there at the roaming monster and you encounter it, you can move a 1 afterwards.
Yep.
As a reward.
And then one thing to call out for the strongholds, when you're doing the actions of like enchanting or buying resources, like I said, you can buy items and things. You have to look at the stronghold listing over here. So let's just say there was no threat tokens here. Everything was open as it would start. Everything costs 5. So if you wanted to buy any resource, it always costs 5. But in some cases, it might be cheaper or more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention to all of these. Some things cost extra gold. Some of these, like you have these stamina things where you can only craft certain items or enchant certain items based on the symbols that it shows. So pay attention to those based on which stronghold you're in. And if you need to enchant certain items, make sure you go to the correct strongholds.
And so for exploring a city, you have to be in the stronghold to explore a city, right?
So yeah, to do either of these, or to do the town, you have to be in the stronghold.
And then you have to be in this green wilderness
To do the
space
wilderness card. And then all of the others, you have the dungeon, you have other cards for other things.
All right. So then when visiting the market, player selects one of the available decks in the stronghold. Okay. The player pays 1 gold. The player draws 1 card from the selected deck. If the player has the speech skill, they draw another card, an additional one. By paying 1 additional gold, the player can draw another additional card. So speech automatically gives you an additional one, but you can in general pay a gold to draw an additional one. The player can keep on paying to draw cards until the deck is depleted. The player pays the cost of any cards they want to buy and takes them, and then you shuffle all of their drawing cards back from the deck. And then just to recover or recap, upgrading or enchanting. So player selects an item to upgrade or enchant. Player pays the cost for upgrading or enchanting, shown on the card. So of course it's the stone for upgrading, it's the soul gems for enchanting. Items without an upgrade cost cannot be upgraded. Items without an enchanting cost cannot be enchanted. Items can only be enchanted and upgraded once. Okay, there it is.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yep. The player draws 1 upgrade or enchantment card. If the player has the smithing for upgrading or the enchanting for enchanting skill, they draw 2 cards. The player may pay additional stone for upgrading an additional soul gem or for enchanting additional stone for upgrading or additional soul gem for enchanting to draw an additional card. They may draw as many cards as they have resources to do so, like we showed. The player selects a card and applies it to the selected item. The player shuffles all the items to get back in the deck. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah. So move 4, and then based on where you land, do with it. So these don't have their own card stacks?
Not yet, but I believe they will come out.
But so like exploring a dungeon.
So a dungeon has its own stack.
Right.
That'll be.
But the ruins.
Oh no, it does. So all of those do. And
perfect. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So when you stop in those spots, if you choose to explore, you encounter, or do you always encounter?
I believe you'd have to explore.
Encounter a roaming monster, which is this guy.
So a roaming monster, if it's on you would automatic. But I believe
explore a dungeon. So those are all considered dungeons.
Yeah.
Got it. These are specifically caves, but everything essentially.
Oh
dungeons.
yes,
Ruins,
they're all dungeons, but yes, that's a cave.
Got it. Okay, except for the wilderness and strongholds or cities.
Correct.
Wilderness.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's everything.
Cool. All right. Well, this was Bald and Board Games playing Skyrim, the adventure game. I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
We'll see you at the table.